The path towards having a year-round permanent shelter will probably take us 2 to 3 years to get to. In the meantime, we know we have bad weather in the winter months where it's wet, where it's rainy, where people really are at risk for hypothermia, for exposure to the elements. And during those inclement weather months, it's just absolutely essential that we offer our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness a safe place to get out of the elements overnight. What's always important for communities to recognize with shelter services, both day shelter and overnight shelter, is there are people without housing who are struggling to live within our communities. Oftentimes they'll sleep in doorways, oftentimes they'll sleep in parks or in waterways and easements, which is very challenging for the community. When you have a safe place for people to go, it brings people inside, which is both safer for people who are experiencing homelessness, but it's also safer for the surrounding community when there is a place for people to be. It addresses a number of public health issues that emerge when people are sleeping in the streets and don't have the facilities to use the restroom, or don't have the facilities to wash their hands, or don't have the facilities to wash up a bit. So having that safe place for people who would otherwise be in the street, otherwise be in the doorways of businesses, otherwise be loitering, is very important. What the shelter also offers is a place for people to have a dinner, to have a meal as they finish their day, which helps address issues of panhandling, helps address issues of people in the streets at night.
The Salinas Warming Shelter has been around for a few years. I know of it as being on Market Street for a couple of years, and it does serve the Salinas, Monterey County area, homeless people, families, men and women. The capacity is 70 people, and we serve dinner here, coffee, tea, water. We like to keep the families separated from the men and women, and it's just a blessing to just see everybody come in, you know, and just have a place to be able to feel at ease, you know, from being out there in the streets and it being so hard. When they come here, it's just a sense of peace for them. The new location here at 111 West De La Salle is the old public defender's office. So this building is like 2-3 times the size of where we were at before. And basically when you came in, we could just see everybody just like in one room. And this time we're not going to be able to have that. We are going to be able to have the open space where our tables are at, but in the evening time when all the mats come out, if we do have an overflow, we do have extra rooms now where we could put them in and stuff like that. We have rooms for families to be in and have like just a little bit of privacy.
Finding a location for a shelter is extraordinarily hard because typically communities want to do something with shelter but have a difficult time with the location of a shelter, thinking that perhaps a shelter will bring people to the community without remembering that people who don't have housing are already in our community. We had a collaboration with the City of Salinas to try and identify a location, and collaboration is hard because different entities have different opinions about location for a host of different reasons. And what the goal always is to do is to have as much consensus as possible, recognizing that you can't get 100% consensus. So as a county, we identified a location that didn't work as well for the city. And as we were getting down to the coming of the inclement weather, the timing of the move for the public defenders from where they were located on West De La Salle just happened to intersect with our need to open up a shelter.
We just want to make sure that everybody that works here has that compassionate heart to want to help those in need, you know, and we are grateful for the county to allow us to be able to be here and open doors for them, because this is a much needed program, because homelessness is a really, really big problem for us in our county, and not just in Salinas, and Gonzales, King City, and, you know, Monterey, you know, the surrounding cities are very much affected by homelessness. So to be able to open up doors again is an awesome thing. There's people already standing outside, so obviously we're making a positive impact that they still keep on coming back.
It is an incredibly valuable thing to have in a community. Oftentimes people think, well, if there was no shelter, there would be no homeless. I think you just need to look at any number of other communities to see that people who don't have housing really are our neighbors. And the bigger challenge in our community is the cost and the availability of housing that's available to people who are very, very low income.
Dealing with homelessness, there's not a quick solution. These are long-term and short-term strategies. But all along the way, as we're going and walking together in this journey to help our homeless residents, every now and then when we get a good victory like we're seeing today with the opening of this shelter, we have to just help motivate each other, re-inspire each other, thank each other, because this work is not easy. And that's why we want to thank all of you who have been champions for our homeless residents. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for caring for our most vulnerable in our community. So this is an accomplishment. We have a lot more work to do though, but it's nice that the city and the county and our community could do this together for our most vulnerable.
Well, this is a big day. You know, I just took a walk through and I said, much better than what we've had in the past. We've had a multitude of places that weren't really acceptable, but it's all we had. And when you think about it, as we all go home tonight, wherever we're going, it's going to be nice and warm and cozy. Now these folks will have a decent place to get off the street tonight and be safe, and that's part of what we need to do. We can't provide them services if we leave them on the streets.
On behalf of Supervisor Parker, I just want to reiterate a couple points that she's been making. And one of them is how great it is to have colleagues on the board who share a commitment to ensuring that everybody in our community has a safe and legal place to sleep at night. Working with a board of supervisors that is committed to that goal is just really fabulous. And so Supervisor Alejo, thank you. Supervisor Salinas, thank you. According to the 2017 homeless census, the population experiencing homelessness within our county has increased by 23%. And the vast majority of those individuals lived in Monterey County before becoming homeless. So we just, we really appreciate the partnership with the City of Salinas and with all of our regional city partners who are working with the county to find solutions, because it's not something that we can do alone.
1, 2, 3. Yeah!